So this is part 2 of going through the Granny Crochet Favourites book. I can't even begin to explain how much I have enjoyed going through this book. If you haven't seen part 1, I'm going to link that in the information at the bottom so you can go back. We go through the entire book, look at every single pattern. When I was going through the book, so many of the patterns were just jumping out to me. So I thought what I would do is actually choose some patterns from the book and make them and make a part 2 and really kind of explore these patterns. Remember, if you like crochet, if you like art, if you like crafting, we are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers this year on my channel. So if you'd like to, please subscribe to the channel. Pattern 1 that I decided to have a little go at is this tea towel here, the crochet towel. Now what they're using it for is they're using it as a tea towel, and like I said in part 1, the thought of putting so much effort and energy into making something like this and then it getting stained and you wiping your hands in the kitchen and just the kitchen's a messy. I don't know whether I could actually fully do that. Now, as you'll see, a few weeks ago, we went through the entire crochet stash that I have here, 14 years worth of wool we went through. Again, I'll link that down below. And I found tons and tons of cotton. So what I did was I basically got out all of my little tiny little balls. These are like the Happy by Cedar. These, I had tons of this from my husband. He made me a boo basket and got me loads of these. And I just thought, you know what we'll do is we'll do a towel, because we don't want wool, especially acrylic wools in the bathroom or in the kitchen. It just doesn't make sense. So here's how we got on with that. So I've decided I'm going to make the crochet towel. I really like how this looks. And I've got loads of cotton, so I know that I've got enough to make this. It's saying white cotton, but I don't have a lot of white cotton. But what I do have, so what I've just gathered together, a heck of a lot of this orange. My husband, for my boo basket, he got me loads of this amazing orange cotton, so I have tons of this. So I thought what I'd do is I'd have a little go and I'd make the towel and I'd have that as the surround, because orange and green are my favourite colours. Now, some of the other colours that I have in here, oh, sorry, I got some rogue scissors in the basket as well. I have this little basket when I'm like trying to get things together, whether it's just like getting stuff for like a project or I just want to gather things together to have a nice day. I put it into this basket. So what I've done is I've filled it with all of these different coloured cottons. I thought this would be another great way of going through my yarn stash and doing a bit of stash busting. Love this brown. I think it's so pretty. There's also a green in here, which is really, really, really nice. Oh, look at that. Colour combinations. Wouldn't that be absolutely stunning? Mix a little bit of yellow in there. That is definitely the colours that dog coat was made out of. I'm sure it was. Check it out. Just really, really lovely colours. So I've just finished my first little square. Look how cute she is. It's so pretty. I'm actually really buzzing that I've made that orange as the surround rather than the white, because I think it's a little bit different, isn't it? It's kind of matching my nails right now as well. But yeah, I thought that blue, that turquoisey blue next to that orange is working so well. This is what I love about making granny squares, because the different colour combinations, they can inspire whole different projects. So I'm not like fully following the pattern to the T. I'm kind of doing my own thing. The way they do their granny squares is they actually do a chain in between the grannies. I don't do that. I just go straight into the next and just skip that chain. So I'm just going granny, 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 granny. Corners, we're doing 3 chains, which is the same as what they are doing, which is fine. I just do mine a little differently. And I think that's just always the way I've done it. I like everything to look very kind of smushed together. That's just what I like. Sometimes I feel like when you leave a chain, it makes everything a bit too loosey-goosey. But at the same time, it's up to you. It's up to you what you would like to do. Yeah, we're not like, having to be extremely regimented in this. If you feel comfortable or you think that looks better, use this as a guideline, because that's what I do. Everything is a guideline. I don't really work in cotton either. I've worked in cotton when I was making my little Christmas cracker hats. Really, really enjoyed it. I have worked in cotton a few times in the past, but not many. I tend to work with wool. But after this, I'm actually starting to think I should probably work in cotton a bit more than I am. Look at that stitch definition. Oh, I need to cut you out. But look at that stitch definition. Isn't it beautiful? It's so nice. It just looks so pretty. I wonder what a garment would look like made in this. Imagine a little granny square. Little granny square, like little vest made in cotton for the summer. Oh, that'd be so pretty. So I've made up 6 squares. The way I work when I'm doing a granny square, like blanket, tea towel, whatever it is, I stitch along as I go. I hate having a basket full of things that I've got to stitch together at the end. It's just not how I work. So I'm going to be stitching these together. I also weave in my ends, and it's something that I do. One of my mantras is looking after future stuff. So that's for you as well. Looking after future insert name. That is what I sort of my mantra towards life. It's my mantra towards my crochet. That's what I do. So I've stitched these 6 squares together, just making panels of 3. So looking at the design, I'm going to need to have 8 panels of 3. So that's 24 squares in total. So stitch it along, make a little panels of 3. If I've got 24 squares all staring at me, it's just going to make me lose my mind. So stitching them along, stitching as I'm going, we'll get this all sorted. So I have began stitching together some of these little 3 panels. I am absolutely made up. This is turning out so much better than I ever thought that it would. Look at that orange. Look at how bright all of these grannies are standing out next to that bright orange. It is so gorgeous. Oh my gosh, look how fabulous that is. I don't know if I can use this as a tea towel. I'm going to level with you all. I think I'm probably just going to use this in my bathroom as just like a hand towel, because I genuinely do not think that I could have this in my kitchen. It's too pretty. It's too nice to just get stained. Oh my days, look how nice this is. Wouldn't this be an amazing banner on my YouTube channel? I think when it's all completed, I'm going to take a picture and turn it into my banner. So here we are, all 24 of the squares, all stitched together. How amazing does that look? It looks absolutely gorgeous. So now we need to do the edging. So let's have a little look at the pattern and we will see what it's recommending. So it's actually recommending single crochets for this. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do single crochets. I am going to do double crochets, and I'm going to do 2 rows of double crochet because that's what I think is going to look best on this. I think it'll just look a little bit more uniform with what I've been doing. So let's crack on and we'll see where we get on with it. And here we are with the finished tea towel. Now, I've not done the loop. The pattern did ask for a loop to be on the short side in the middle, but I'm going to be using this at my bathroom. I'm not going to be using this in the kitchen, and it's going to hang over my radiator, so I don't need to have a loop on this. I am absolutely obsessed with how this looks. I am absolutely made up. This has turned out better than expected. Here is the finished towel. I am absolutely made up with how this turns out. Look at those colours. Isn't that absolutely stunning? It's so pretty. The stitch definition, I love the drape, how it feels. And what I'm going to use this for is I'm not going to use this as a tea towel. I am going to use this in my bathroom as a hand towel, because genuinely I just can't bring myself to put this into my kitchen. I can't. I love the combination. I love the bright orange. And I've never really worked much with cotton, I'll be honest with you. I've done a few things, but cotton is not like my go-to. After making this, I'm really reconsidering cotton and maybe making a garment. Like, how amazing would that be? As like a little sort of jumper or a cardigan or a skirt or something. It's so pretty. Obsessed. So that was pattern number 1 that we tried, and that was out of the useful crochet section. Now, another thing that I wanted to try, but obviously I didn't have the time to produce something full-sized for this video, was I wanted to look into the Afghan patterns. So the Afghan pattern that I chose was the Snow White Granny. So as you can see with the image, there's these amazing little popcorn stitches all throughout this. Now, I've been re-watching Young Sheldon. I absolutely love Young Sheldon. It's like one of these shows that I can just put on the like 20-minute episodes and I just get little cozy moments, sit there and crochet, and I can just kind of switch my mind off while I'm watching it. It's like a wholesome show. I just love it. And I have noticed this blanket on the back of the couch in so many scenes. And every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, that's so pretty. Like the little squares of the popcorns. And this, the Snow White Granny, really reminded me of that. So I decided to do one square. Here's how it went. Okay, so I'm having a little read of this pattern. Now, the first instruction, it like makes sense, like chain 3, count the first as a double crochet into ring, popcorn and ring. But when I look at the instructions for their popcorn, work 5 double crochet in stitch or ring, drop 1p from hook, insert hook in first double crochet made and dropped 1p through stitch on hook. I don't know if I fully understand that. I'm just gonna have a little go. So I've had a little go and it just doesn't look right. When I've done popcorns in the past, they're really prominent, and I think the bottom 3 are, but that top one just looks really wonky, so I don't really know what I've done. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to look online and I'm just going to see someone doing a popcorn, because I'm a visual learner. I'm able to follow patterns, but sometimes I just need to see someone doing it, so that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, look at that now. So I've done an extra row as well, but those popcorns are so much more prominent. I'm absolutely made up. Look at them. They're really sticking out. They're really protruded. That's what I wanted. I don't know if I'm doing it exactly to the pattern of the book in terms of the popcorn, but that's what's working for me. I am loving how this looks. It does feel quite stiff, so I don't know what it'd be like if I had loads of them all stitched together, but we'll see. So we've got another little popcorn row done. This is just looking so cute. I don't know if it works too much within the green colour, you know. It's I don't know whether the popcorns are sticking out as much, but it's so pretty. I like the way it feels. I like the fact that this texture. I think this would make a really nice like baby blanket, you know, because like also the sensory element to it. Oh, I can't wait to keep going and seeing what the whole square actually looks like. So this is the end of the square. It's these little 3 rows of popcorns, obviously with the double crochet rows in between. I'm really impressed with this. I really love how this looks, and it's inspiring me to maybe make an entire blanket out of these. For me though, I just don't feel like there's enough popcorns, especially because we're just doing one square. So I think what I'm going to do is do another row. So I've got the next row, I'll have 4. So here is the finished square. I need to kind of block this because it is kind of curling a little bit. And what I did was I ended up going a little bit further and doing an extra row, because I kind of just felt like it kind of ended here and it just didn't look big enough. Really, I would actually, if I was going to make an Afghan with this pattern, I'd probably make my squares a little bit bigger. But isn't that lovely? Obviously, I've not done it in the Snow White. I've done it in the Aldi Khaki. And I just think it's so pretty. So the reason why I chose the Aldi Khaki is the colours in the throw in Young Sheldon really kind of reminded me of like those. They were using very autumnal colours. But isn't that pretty? I love the little popcorn design. Imagine just being under the throw with this on. So lovely. Now, the last thing that I decided to try was one of the granny squares from the very start of the book. So the very start of the book, what they do is they go through the different techniques that you will need during the book. So what we have here is the basic granny square. You have your half granny square. Then you start getting into some more intricate designs. I love this log cabin granny square. I think it's so pretty. And here we have the wagon wheel. So there's that's wagon wheel 2 and wagon wheel 1. I decided to go with wagon wheel 1, and here's how that went. So here is the pattern. Looking at the middle, it looks like they're using the same colour right up to those outer rows. I'm not going to do that. I want to do a different colour each time. So the middle, I've decided to do green. And then I'm going to do the rest of it like blues and purples. Like that's what I'm thinking. I'm going to be doing it in cotton again because I loved using the cotton for the towel. And now I'm just like really inspired. I just love the stitch definition and how it's all coming out. So that is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be using this and using the cottons. So first I just want to say how gorgeous does this lilac look next to this green. Oh my god, stunning. But I've done something wrong. So what I've done is I've just gone and done my singles all the way around, but the pattern was actually single chain, single chain, single chain. So I need to go back and I need to redo it. So I'm going to do that now. How amazing does this look now with those spaces? I realised when I was doing it, what this is supposed to look like is the spokes on a wagon wheel, you know, where you have those gaps. So the next step now is going to be basically double crocheting all the way around. So you're getting that kind of thick line. So let's move on to that. Oh, look at this. I chose like a turquoisey blue to do this outer in. I am so happy that I changed the colour each time. Because if we had the same colour, that circle, that green and that purple, that would have all just been the same colour. And I like the fact that the purple is kind of giving this break between the two colours. So you kind of got this sort of separation. I absolutely love this. So the next step now is going to be turning the circle into a square. So basically this step, what you're doing is you're basically just hooking over the material like every 3 stitches and creating these loops. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do these 2 rows. This is the first row and then there's another row. I'm going to be doing this both in the same colour because most of these stitches in the purple that I've created are going to be covered up. And I just think having that bit of purple within the design, I think is quite important. And I just think it'll kind of like look really, really pretty. So that's what we're going to do. So we're starting now to create those corners. So basically what you're going to do is chain 3, do another 3 double crochets, and then you just crochet along until the next corner. And that's how you're going to turn it into a square. I am just so excited about this because every single time I try to turn a circle into a square, it goes wrong and I finally feel like I know what I'm doing. So the very final round, we've got the blue, and what we did is we just literally went along like a normal granny square. Look how pretty that is. I'm obsessed with all of these little colour changes. I really genuinely can't bring home how happy I am that I just didn't keep that centre in one colour. I think having that little pop of lilac in the middle really makes it stand out. And now I've got like loads of ideas just going through my head of all the different things I want to make with this. So here is the finished granny square. How cute. I really like this colour palette as well. These purples and teals and blues. This would make such a beautiful like vest. Or you can imagine it in a coat. Or again, even just in a towel like this. I've used cotton for this again. And honestly, genuinely, I cannot see me not working with cotton after this project. The drape is absolutely amazing. And this book, going through this, has given me so much inspiration for summertime projects. If you don't already have this book, it's by Jean Leonhauser and Rita Weiss. These 2 ladies, I've actually gone through my collection and a lot of my books are actually by these ladies. I'll read you some information about them, which I wanted to include in the last video, but the last video got so long. It was getting up to like over an hour's worth of footage and I was like, I need to cut this back. I'll make it 2 parts. So here's a little bit about these 2 ladies. Jean Leonhauser lives in San Diego with 30 rose bushes and Tina, a Shetland sheepdog who helps out in the garden by eating snails. I mean, I don't know if you should be letting your dogs eat snails. Also, this book is very, very old. And Jean has actually passed away. When I was doing sort of research on her, she's actually passed away. I'm not sure about Rita. But both of these ladies, when I've looked into them, just seem like such interesting people. Bit more about Jean. A graduate of the University of Iowa with a degree in journalism, she enjoys all forms of needlework, especially crocheting. She is a founder and president of the American School of Needlework, a publisher of needlework and craft books in San Marcos, California. She enjoys creating authentic period rooms with doll's house miniatures. I love the sound of this woman. She collects dolls, blue and white Wedgwood jasper ware, blue and white Delft china, and antique silver. Girl, I love me Jasperware. I love me Jasperware. I absolutely love Wedgwood. Literally went on a day trip to the Wedgwood Museum. Absolutely love it. In her spare time, she reads 10 English mystery books a week. 10! How long are these books? Where are you finding the time, Jean? Where are you finding the time? Jean used to love travelling, but since she moved to San Diego in 1984, she never wants to leave. She just sounds so bloody cool and so bloody wonderful. Rita, a little bit about Rita. Rita Weiss became a grandmother for the first time while writing this book, which seems very appropriate. Now, little Aaron Pape and Benjamin Bunch are proud owners of a very special granny baby blanket. Oh. Rita, a graduate of Ohio University, collects old-time needlework patterns and has published many books based on her archives. Like, how cool is that? Quilting is her favourite form of needlework, and she's considered an authority in that field. She is an executive vice president of the American School of Needlework. Rita and her husband live in Escondido, California. In addition to grandsons, they have 3 daughters, Sabrina, Michelle, and Carla, 2 son-in-laws, Jim and David, and 2 cats, Fred and Preggers. Preggers. I was like, here's your cat, always knocked up. I love it. A book that I just wanted to bring to everybody's attention is this book here. So this is the big book of crochet stitches, and this is by these 2 ladies. So this is absolutely amazing. This is like an encyclopedia. If I just flip through this, this is an encyclopedia of all different types of stitches. This is a must if you are getting into crochet. This is absolutely amazing. It's a modern book, so it's mainly just photographs. So when you look at it, it's a picture. I don't want to show too much because this is a modern book that still gets sold. So this is a picture of your stitch, and then next to it is how you do everything. At the start of the book, you get all of your abbreviations, you get your special instructions, little introductions as well. Now what I've been doing is actually writing notes under each section in pencil when I've been working on these. So when I'm working on it, finding out what works for me, what doesn't work for me, any kind of little things that I do. I love the introduction in this book as well, because these 2 ladies, you can tell that they were so close. My co-author and late friend, Jean Leanhauser, loved everything about crochet, but most of all, I think she loved stitches that were used to create all of her projects. She collected crochet stitches like some collectors covet antiques. And that's the thing, this is what's so cool about crochet, about fibre art, about any kind of craft, is these are tangible skills that are passed down and passed from person to person. And you think about when crochet was first started and how that travelled globally was down the trade paths where one person has this knowledge, they meet somebody, they teach them, they meet someone else, they teach them, and it goes and goes and goes and becomes something so much bigger and so much wider than it originally was. Absolutely amazing. And that's one of the reasons why I love crochet, because it brings everybody together. I hope that you've really enjoyed this video. Remember, if you haven't seen part 1, I'll link it down below and you can have a little look at that. And if you've made it to the end, thank you so much. At the moment, what I'm trying to do on this channel is get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you've enjoyed my video, please like, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.